just never settle for less. It's all in your head, how you think you manifest. So get ready to rise, cause we about to be the best. Gotta switch it up, gotta break the old habits. Get your mind right, turn your dreams into habits. No negative vibes, only positive thoughts.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Cafe podcast. It's your boy Devan, and today I am thrilled to have and welcome on the show Matthew Lesko. He is known to millions as the question mark guy, and from his iconic infomercials and TV appearances, Matthew has spent over 40 years really empowering Americans to unlock billions in different things such as government grants and benefits. So with over 4 million books sold and over 100 television appearances, I would like to welcome Matthew on the Mindset Cafe.
I finally made it after all those television. I've been working my ass off all these years, and I finally got your show. Thank you for having me.
No, of course. Well, let's start off. How did you become known as the question mark guy?
Well, asshole didn't go well. I tried that for a while. A lot of people liked it, but the question, well, it was in my heart forever. Since fifth grade, I remember. I'm 81 years old, so this is like in the 50s or 60s or something, and I was watching TV one day, and I was watching race cars on TV, and there was a fellow named Andy Granatelli, who was a famous race car driver. But at that time I saw him, he was selling STP, which is an additive you add it to your engine to make it run. And he had a whole suit with STP on it. I thought, oh God, that looks neat for some reason. I mean, I'm a kid in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I never saw any suit except black ones or something. And so that hung with me for a while. Then I became a bit of a clothes horse most of my life, interested in clothes. But it was fun, rich clothes. I want to dress elegant and stuff like that. And I think I got bored of that, and that's expensive. Then I realized funky is cheap. And when I would start doing shows and things like that, trying to get attention to sell books, I just thought, because I sell information, I thought, I should questions. I mean, to me, I've always thought I sell information, how to get answers to questions. But the important thing is that you ask the right question. People don't ask the right question. That's why you just get a shitload of answers that don't mean anything. So you have to think hard about asking the right question so you get the right answer. So I said, well, I'll just have a question mark suit. Yeah. So I did that. And then that just sort of taken off. But I lost a lot of money at the beginning. So, okay, I'm going to wear question mark suits. And then I was on Home Shopping, I know, at the time. And they didn't want me on the air with question mark suit. They just thought it was, just too clowny. I don't know what it is. I mean, they think they were like Neiman Marcus selling stuff to rich people, but just people in trailers or something that are buying this stuff. Yeah. And I was selling a lot of books there. So it was a hard, pill to swallow. But I wanted to wear that thing. For some reason, it was me inside, and that was me. In other words, to me, I finally found something that people could see what's inside me, and I wear it outside. Most of us, wearing expensive blue suit, all I got was venture capital and bankers, and that were attracted to it. They were my people. And so you dress in question mark suit. A lot of people didn't like it. Like I say, I lost a lot of money. I was thrown off a lot of shows. But that was me inside. And I never made a better decision in my life, or one of the most important decisions, because if you like the suit, I'm going to like you. You think I'm an asshole? We're saving each other lots of time. If you don't like this, we don't have to waste each other's time. And that's the best thing about it. And it just makes me more comfortable. I mean, with the question marks, I could go in a biker bar at 2:00 in the morning, and I'm a wimpy guy, so it's not my milieu. And because for some reason, it just disarms people. I mean, I get free upgrades on the airlines all the time. I get free coffees at Starbucks. Just people like to give me stuff, and even when I don't need it. But I walk down the street and people smile at me. Man, I don't get that at home.
Yeah. No, I
So
think it really makes your day. I mean, that was one of the reasons that why I wanted to bring you on was like you're taking something that, you've mentioned a few times where, if you are dressing a certain way to, get the attraction of your audience and stuff like that, you're dressing in a regular suit. Now you're attracting venture capitalists and those kind of things. And if someone doesn't like how you're dressing, then, then you're not going to like the kind of person they are. So I think that was so cool. How do you think it's really helped your mission in trying to attract those clients?
Say that again. I lost a little bit of those words.
How do you think that, dressing the way you dress and being bold has really helped you with your mission, and basically selling books and everything?
Tremendously. Maybe I'd find another way or something, but I think the creativity is from inside you. So like Harvard Business School called me up to give a lecture on branding. And I got up there in this big auditorium and all these MBA students or whatever all over. And I said, I'm just having fun. This is not they thought it was some big branding discussion and investigation we did. No, I mean, this is just me inside out, and I think all our life has to be that way. I mean, I believe all of us have something special in life. We don't know what it is. And so we're asking other people for and getting advice from all these so-called experts that charge all this money to do that. And they don't know anything. They're guessing because they got lucky somewhere. So you think they know it all, and they don't. But they like to pretend they know everything because then they could charge a lot. If they say the truth, like, yeah, I'm guessing, but maybe this, you can't charge as much as if you say, hey, this is going to make you $1 million, right? So I got up there to them and I said, I'm just having fun. And that's it. It's me inside. And I think that's what we all have to do. And that's the key in life is because if you find what's inside you, you could do that better than anybody else. Otherwise, you're copying other people that do something better. Because somebody said, "Oh, this makes you a lot of money." Okay, I'll do it. No, that may or may not work, and how much, but you really can't grow as much as you can. And that's the idea about life: is how much can you grow? How much can you give other people? How much can you love? And if it doesn't come from your heart, and if it doesn't come from inside you, then it's all mechanical. I mean, you're just checking off boxes on checking off the boxes. Life has to be more than that for you to enjoy it and for you to give it the most. In other words, you're pretending you're in love or something. You got to come from the heart. The best stuff does come from the heart. That's the best ideas come from the heart, because if they're from you, then it's only you can do that. Nobody else can copy you. And that's what's, I think, important in life as a human to grow. I mean, we're like a plant, a tree, or whatever. We got to keep growing. And that's it. There's two ways to grow, or our life is in two sections. I think personal, where you have individual that you're loving and helping and want to be in your life, and then how to make money at something, right? So you can support yourself. And so that's your professional. So how are you going to give as much as you can for both of those areas? So that's why it's, we think of love as just one place personally, but no, I mean, I think your skills to give to society is loving the rest of the people in society. So you have to show that love, and that love comes best from your heart. And then you could give that the most. The ideal life to me is you want to get up and do what you want to do, even though there's not money. And the money just comes, an afterthought or a bonus. Like I'm 81. I'm going to do this till I fucking die. Nothing better to do. And then I can maybe help somebody.
No, see that. I mean, that's awesome. And, to be 81 and because your passion and your energy is courageous and it's contagious, right? And it's one of those things where, like, hearing you, laugh and everything like that and seeing your suit, like, it makes you smile, right? But transitioning a little bit, how did, with your expertise in over 40 years of really helping people access like government grants, how did you dive into that area of expertise?
Failing and everything else. Yeah. And that's what's interesting. People don't want to fail, and that's terrible, because you don't know what to really do, and you have to get out, particularly anything new in life. You don't know what everybody else. I mean, they could guess, but they really don't know. And that's why the problem I see in life too is your loved ones. You want to do something new in life, and you tell them about this crazy idea, and they say, "Don't do that. You're going to get hurt." And that's true. You probably will fail it. But to me, if you want to do something new, you have to go out and fail and learn. So like when you learn to walk, I mean, I have kids that are now older than me, but when they were learning to walk, they'd crawl over to the coffee table and pull themselves up and take a step and fall on their ass. They had to do that 150 times or whatever. But if I said, "Don't do that, you're going to fall." But you become a grown up and the kid wants to do, "Oh no, you're going to fail doing it." Yes. And so you can't do that. You have to trust yourself, because if you take other people's opinions, I mean, it's not bad to take opinions. You take it, what the hell? They're cheap. But just to see maybe you're missing something that's not, but you have to get out there, because if your heart's behind it, then you will find a way to get over that failure and get where you really have to be. But you can't go step 1 to step 10. There's all this shit in the middle. And what happens if you take somebody else's step by step, half of those things you're going to fail at doing. And what's going to happen after the second one, you're going to say, that guy's an asshole. I mean, this stuff, and you won't learn from it then. And you won't keep going. So if it's from your heart doing it, you're going to get up tomorrow and do that sucker again a different way, and figure that out. I mean, life is terrible. It's my wife's aunt, 90 some years old, in a nursing home. Went up to see her, and she's so happy and looking out the window of her little apartment she had in this nursing home, looking at the trees and the flowers. I said to her, "Why are you so happy? Why do you think life is so happy?" And she looked at me seriously. "Oh no, life is brutal." It was her, and it is. It's there. If you're human, you're going to get fucked up and fail. Do all kinds of bad shit is going to happen to you, and you just have to use that as stepping stones, because you have to go through that. You're not going to be immune from bad stuff. So that's why you have to choose things more that are from your heart. So if you get through it, like a personal relationship, you have somebody, he's got all the money, or she's whatever, he starts picking his nose at dinner all the time. That's a deal breaker. But if you have something, bigger than that keeps you together, that stuff doesn't matter, because you're going to keep going and figure it out. And business is the same way. Oh, a lot of these people don't dress nice or something, kind of things you thought it'd be glamorous. But I had a computer software company in the 70s. I got an MBA in computer science back in the 70s. It failed. I had another business failed. A couple of businesses that failed. And that's why you just got to pick up and keep going. And that's the only, you don't have an option. Well, the option is getting another job you hate, but that's a fallback. Yeah.
So what challenges have you really faced with spreading awareness about government grants and government funding?
It's 24/7. I think about it every minute of my life. What happened, I mean, so I went on for a long time just doing books. Well, first of all, my first successful business was helping Fortune 500 companies do this, and that's how I learned it all. I want to get paid, so I'd find them money and help to do anything. And they asked me to do it, like a management consultant. And I was in Washington. I'd find out all this stuff in Washington. And I said, God, why am I helping these millionaires become billionaires when this stuff is so cool? Everybody should know about it. I grew up in a little coal mining town in Pennsylvania. So I never knew anything about this stuff. So I changed my life and said, I'm just going to help people who really need this stuff. I started writing books. And I got 2 New York Times bestsellers, and I flunked English in college twice. So I tried to find that English teacher when my first book made the New York Times bestseller list. And so that went on, to sell books. It was talk shows, and I found out how to get on those. And really talk shows, I mean, this helped talk shows because what I find out that talk shows isn't about information. It's just strictly entertainment. I used to fear that, I get on a talk show and Larry King, well, don't you see page 75 here? You say this, Lesko, and you're full of shit, Nobody cares about the book. They're entertaining people. So I don't care what people think about me. If I have to act like an asshole to get free airtime, that's fine. I enjoy acting like an asshole, so we're both happy. My parents did not admit I was their kid for the first 10 years I was doing TV. But that got me on TV because it's all about entertainment. I mean, I was like I was a backup guest. Like when somebody canceled, they'd call Lesko. I'd go anywhere for you. Give me 5 minutes of national TV for free. I'm there. I remember Letterman, and my biggest thrill was, who am I subbing for? I remember Christopher Walken. I was subbing for on Letterman once, and they found me in Chicago somewhere in the afternoon, and they got me on a plane and go in. And I got, who am I talking? Chris Walken, who's a big, God, a fan of me. I mean, I'm a fan of his, and so that's a thrill. And Larry King used to use me a lot for. He'd keep me in the green room. He had an hour program, and he usually had 2 guests. And the first guest was some big star, and then he liked to have the person stay for another half hour, but he only booked for like a half hour, because these big stars don't want to spend that long. But he'd ask him at the end of the half hour, can you stay another half hour? So if he said no, I was in the green room and they'd come out and I'd be the second guest. If he said yes, he'd stay there. I go home and they'd use me some other time. He'd owe me one. So that was that. So that did very well. And infomercials did very well, because I saw through doing talk shows how that I was able to communicate to people. People didn't even see the book, but they bought it because of me, I guess. So that's why it's the product that people never saw and they bought. Yeah, that's cool. So I started publishing my own books because then I didn't have to share the money with anybody else. And when I was doing books with New York people, they were taking all the money. I'd make peanuts. And I was giving the bookstore my customers because my customers were not people hanging around bookstores, but they had to go bookstores to buy the book. So I started using 800 numbers. And I didn't have money to put in bookstores. If you come out with a new book, you have to print 100,000 to be in the mall bookstore. So I didn't have that kind of money. So I'd go on talk shows and get my 800 number. Then I'd get the customer's money before they got a book. So I hurry up and print it and send it.
That's funny. In today's, world, I think government grants and stuff aren't really talked about as much, or government funding. So what do you think is one of the most underutilized resources to the everyday American?
Let me show you something. Are you online now? Can you go on and see a website? Okay.
Yep.
Go to find, F-I-N-D, help, HELP.org.
Okay.
And then there'll be a little box on the left-hand top. Put in your zip code. You see that? Okay. Put in your zip code. Okay. Now, do you see it says umpteen thousand sources or something in the middle of the page there? Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay. How many thousand you got?
Let's see. I don't see the.
Oh, it should be big letters in the middle.
Oh, there. I was on a little side thing. 5,422.
Okay, so where are you in California again?
The outskirts of Los Angeles, the Northridge. Okay,
so there's how many thousand? 14,000?
5,412. 22.
Okay, 5,000. That means there's 5,412 nonprofit organizations and government programs that give you money in your zip code. 5,412 websites that give you money in your zip code. And you see the tabs there, what they're money for,
right?
Housing, all kinds of stuff, right? So let's go up to the search again on the left-hand top, left-hand side, put in rent, R-E-N-T. So if you're looking for money to pay rent, okay, and click, search and see how many you get there.
123.
123 programs in your zip code that give grants to people who want to pay rent. How many people know that? Now, you're a smart guy,
I
right?
didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe if you knew one program, right? I call the government and they said I made too much money, or they don't have any money. Here's 100 and some people to do. So you're just starting, lady. Yeah, you got lots of work to do, and they all give money. See, and that's what pisses me off. You go to Google. See, Google is a death trap. Unless you have money, you don't want to go to Google, because Google is there to get your money. So everybody there is going to try to get money off of you. Everyone here is trying to get money to you. Money to you. And there's not 2 billion of them. So you go to Google and you get these 100 and whatever are probably in Google, but they're on page 87 or whatever. Then you'll never find them. So that's right. This is gold mine, man. Why are people, and see, there's a third of our whole economy that is made up with these organizations. A third. 2/3 is capitalism, is Google. So everybody knows how to do that. Everybody knows how to spend money. But if you don't have money, do you know how to survive? Do you know how to do the things you really want to do in life? Do you know how to pay your bills? Do you know how to start a business? Do you know how to get the education or training you need, to survive in this country? No, because you don't have money. So fuck it, I'm screwed. No, you're not. You just don't know where to go. I love telling people where to go.
I mean, I want to piggyback off that too, because for those that are feeling hesitant or like skeptical about applying for government grants or for government funding, what would you say, that would kind of reassure them or encourage them?
You're stupid. I mean, if you don't know, it's true, because that's what people do. And the thing is, what you have to do is, see, because we're trained in capitalism, we feel, okay, we go to one website, one people, and they're going to help us, and as long as I give them money, so we don't have to do any more work finding the right place. With grants, it takes effort for you to find the right grant to apply, because they're not looking for you. You have to look for them. And so just by looking at a website or anything, you can't tell if it's for you or not. So the best thing, what you have to do is use this guy. You go to the lists of people that give out the money and you talk to people. See, everyone in these organizations that are there to give you money. They're there to help people in trouble. Okay. So if you talk to them, not only can they tell you what they have and if you're eligible for it, but they'll be able to tell you other sources because they're in that business. Yeah. And they know these things, and they help people like you every day. They probably had 100 calls like this and gave money to 50 of them or whatever. So they know that. Otherwise, we're going to our Uncle Harry or on the internet, and all these people really don't know or whatever. And so it's so easy. I mean, that's what, to me, when I start using the government, I said, God, I'm just schmuck that barely got through school and from Kingston, Pennsylvania. And I could walk in government offices and they just give me all this stuff. So they have to. This is us. This is us. We all own this. And that's why you see the rich people. The rich people know this stuff. And that's why they used to hire me to do this. And that's why, Donald Trump now is the new president. You see all these billionaires following him around, man, because they know that's the biggest game in town. If you're looking for money to do something. And that's why everybody thinks, well, you're on welfare or something. Oh, that's nonsense. That means the billionaires are on welfare. And it's a tool, right or wrong. A lot of people from using this is they believe there's something immoral about it. I think it's immoral if you don't solve a serious problem when there's a source to help you solve it. It's immoral to treat your family that way when you can get out of this trouble, if you only knew how to do that. And that's what bothers me. And it's hard. And I always say, life is hard. And this isn't, you just don't go one place and fill out a form and you get a check on the mail next Thursday. No, it's like getting a job, but if you're not banging on the right doors, you'll never get a job, right? But you can't go and bang on one door and ask them for a job and they say, no, we're not hiring today. And you don't go home and wait for them to change their mind or something. No, you go to the next one, the next one, the next one. But now you have the greatest shopping list in the world, because it's either this or 2 billion websites. and that will send you home very quickly. And that's it. And that's why what we do at Lesko Help is that we have people helping people. don't do that much anymore. That's actually I'm surprised how this is growing, because people get so excited when they find something, they tell other people how they did it. I mean, I haven't applied to something in a long time. Yeah. And like, we're starting a business. So you're an entrepreneur. Okay, here's where you should go. SBA.gov and then /local-assistance. Okay, you see that there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see what it says, find a local or something like that in the middle of the page somewhere. Put
Yep.
in a zip code. Put in your zip code.
Okay.
Okay, now how many you see?
13.
Okay, that means 13 nonprofit organizations, means they're not going to charge you anything, that want to help you do anything they can to help you grow your business, start a business, help work on your invention, start a nonprofit, be a real estate investor, be a freelancer at home, get government contracts, anything for free. And the way you do that, you make appointments, and you call more than one. Because everybody has something. It's like, one economist or one doctor. You have to call, get different opinions, because they all have different ideas, and it's all free. So you want to grow your business, not sure? They'll sit down with you for free and help you brainstorm different sources. See how they also know sources of help to match up. You and I don't. We spend time doing the goddamn work.
No, that's awesome. What's one of the most surprising or unusual like government programs you've seen over the years?
Oh God, there are so many. Boy. By the way, the government gives out, I'm going to get a cheat sheet I must have here. So the government gives out an average of $17,000 to every adult in America every year. Okay, about $14,000 for home repairs. That's what Biden just came out with. Here's another one, $50,000 for low-income entrepreneurs and ex-offenders who get out of jail to start a business. No collateral needed at all. $140 million in overdraft fees. The government will sue your bank if you get overdraft fees. $800 a year you could save on prescription drug, or eliminate $200,000 in student debt with a phone call. These are real programs. They're available right now to people. And they're a little daunting because, people aren't used to doing that. They're used to going on the money side of people who charge you for everything, and capitalism. See, all this comes from the community side. So you don't know about it because they don't advertise or whatever. So people don't know, and people have funny ideas about the government. Who cares what your ideas are? Somebody's going to save your ass. Unless you don't want to. I mean, you don't have to use these things. Believe me. If you could find another way, but if you can't, there's so many people hurting nowadays. And I mean really hurting. I think could be the worst we ever had. Here's a graph I put together by government data. Now this shows you, like, back in 1980, this side, it shows 90% of the working people got 70% of all the wages. So 90%, the lower 90% got 70% of the wages. And in 1980, the top 10% got 30% of the wages. Okay, since 1980, this is what happens. The bottom 90% got less and less, and the top 10% got more and more. So we have people just hurting. I mean, this is why people, I think, inflation, their income is going down. The average person is losing income, not gaining income. So if you have any kind of inflation, that's really hurting, and that's going down every year. For 90% of us, 10% are doing well, thank you, and better. We got more millionaires in this country than any other country in the developed world. That's about like 30%. about 30, 40 countries are called developed countries, not countries in Africa and stuff like that. But what's amazing is, here's a graph, again, from government data, that shows that we're number one. Okay, we're number one, right on top in percentage of our people who are poor. We have more poor people living in America than any other developed country. We have about 17% that are living in poverty in developed countries. And the average is about 7 to 10% in developed countries. So that's why I feel. That to me is incentive, because I know there's a lot of people that need this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's out there.
No, that's awesome. Well, before we wrap up, and before I ask you, where people can connect with you, I like to ask Alex. I like to ask one question, right? And this question I don't like to give beforehand, so that way I get the honest,
I don't care.
authentic answer, right? The Matthew Lesko wall, the question mark guys wall. What would be the one legacy message that you would leave for the up and coming generations?
Well, my favorite saying now is realize that your heart is smarter than your brain. We go to school, we all think there's an answer to everything, and there's a secret formula and everything, and we start using a spreadsheet to make all our decisions. Man, the best thing for making a decision is your heart, because that instinctively knows what's best for you. But we look for the experts because they think they know stuff. They may know a little, but not for you. We're all too different.
No, that's awesome. And where can people connect with you and learn more about what you got going on?
Well, actually, that's a problem now. My accountant called yesterday. The end of the year, we have too much business, and because of a tax problem, we're not allowed. It's leskohelp.com.
Leskohelp.com.
Yeah, and that's personal help. What we do is help one-on-one to apply to every grant you got. Apply for it.
That's so awesome. Well, guys, make sure you guys check out those websites. Check out leskohelp.com. Have him help you out, because honestly, I just pulled it up, and there are so many grants. There are so many different funding opportunities out there. If you are struggling, especially, you don't need to struggle just to struggle. So, make sure you guys share this with a friend that might be struggling, and make sure you guys leave us that 5-star review, because it does greatly help us. But, the question mark guy, Matthew Lesko, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and helping other people to help the audience of the Mindset Cafe.
Great. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No negative vibes, only positive thoughts. Cause in the game of life, mindset calls the shots. Got my mind on the prize, I can't be